Welcome to a very special episode of bexbugoutsurvivor. It's the birthday unwrapping. So what I wanted was a bit of hammock equipment, my favourite pastime, and that's what we got here with the Klymit Hammock Static V. So got a few things in here, including the Gore-Tex bivvy. And I've got another hammock that's never really worked with under quilts, and hoping I'm going to get away with a pad in that hammock. So this is the hammock I want to try out with this birthday gift. My missus knows I'm absolutely mad about Marvel. I think last year it was Spider-Man, and this year Marvel. Now I've always had underquilts. I tried once putting my X-Ped down mat 9 LW out for the night in a hammock, and it didn't wrap up around my shoulders. It was just something to put my back on, and I'm pretty sure it was deflating as the night progressed and didn't really work out. So I wanted this, and I've got it. It's almost a shame to rip the paper. Wow. This is an inflatable that blows up and goes inside my hammock, and there's a picture of it there, and as you can see it has wings at the shoulders and the feet, and this is what creates the side insulation that was missing when I tried this with the X-Ped. Okay, now I had all the information you're ever going to want to know written down to learn and memorize on a script, but I left that paper at home. But I do know it's 35 ounces, this, all told, and I think that equates somewhere to 990 grams, so it's just shy of a kilo, but it's pretty small at 12.5 centimeters by 25, which is somewhere around 5 inch by 10 inch. So let's pull this out, put the stuff sack here in my pocket, which should contain a first aid kit for the actual mat itself, which is a swatch and some adhesive. And you only need the adhesive really to fix a puncture. But like I said, the swatch is only for a cosmetic repair if it's got a rip and it's looking unsightly. And of course, don't be sucked in by the hype of insulation and your mat going mouldy with breath. It's a fallacy, something created by the inventors of such mats. Notice how that was never an issue before the pump sack was invented. Now I'm going to count how many breaths this is going to take. I haven't got the strongest lungs. I was somewhere at 18 breaths. It's not bad for me. I haven't got the most powerful lungs, but I'm looking forward to getting the inflator bag for it. It opens out the hammock quite nicely. The valve end here is the head end. Click that into place there. It's a flat lock valve. Take my boots off. So this is an insulated mat, which is going to have a higher R rating than the uninsulated mat. The uninsulated version of this is somewhere around 1.6. This mat here, 4.4 So it is claimed to be a winter mat, not really an Arctic mat, but certainly 4.4 should take me down to 10 and 15 below in Celsius. So far I am liking this. I was hoping this is going to be something to use alongside the sleeping bag, because I don't really know what it's going to be like with an overquilt, how comfortable this is going to be if I strip off a layer and lie directly on it. Now have a look inside. These channels here are said to trap your own body heat. This is super warm so far, and some of these trees aren't looking too healthy. Now I am lying straight down the middle of my hammock. It's my preferred lay. This is a double hammock, so it will accommodate a diagonal lay if that's the way you like it. The reason I really fancied a pad is I fancy doing a trek 2020, just going right down the backbone of Wales, down, it's called the Offers Dyke, and no laughing, it's what it's called. It's about 177 miles. I don't know if there are going to be trees all the way. It should take about a fortnight to do, just strolling. And because I don't know if there's going to be trees on every night I want to camp, I could do with a system that allows me to go onto the ground. And this is it. This will come inside my bivvy. Well, that's why I bought a bivvy bag. This is surprisingly better than I thought it ever would be. At the moment it's not too cold. Yesterday it was +2 degrees, and today it's got to be 8 degrees. So the sun's come out for my birthday. So I will try and put this in a bivvy bag at the end of the episode, and if that's the case, I'm good to go. This time I'm in more of a diagonal lay, and it's again quite comfortable, but I prefer to go straight down the middle, especially on a pad like this, which has the effect of leveling out your hammock anyway. I'm a big lover of underquilts, but I like all hammock gear. I like all camping gear. I'm not stuck with one stove, one tent, one mat. I'm quite a gear junkie. I will try out everything. I'm going to get a sleeping bag and take my coat off, because I want this to be a sleeping bag system. However, it's the actual hammock itself that I wanted to change to the green one that you've seen me with, which is the UK Hammocks hammock, and I've struggled with that. It's not comfortable for an underquilt. The effect of having a pad rather than an underquilt eliminates the calf ridge. And if you're new to hammocking, calf ridge is an area of fabric that gets so tight as you lie in your hammock. It's like lying on a guitar string, and it cuts in to the back of your leg. The UK Hammocks hammock that I'm going to put up and put this in a minute, I was reading online, Matt, who made all that equipment bespoke, has quit UK Hammocks. So this is the UK Hammocks hammock, the green one, which I'll put on in a minute. My intention was always the 2-part buffalo bag, this pad, and the UK Hammocks netted hammock here. But for now I'm just going to try this in my 11-foot Dutch. There is an art to getting into a sleeping bag in a hammock. So just need to zip up the sleeping bag. It's not the easiest way to do it. Once you're in and zipped up, provided you're not up and down for a pee every 10 minutes like me, you'll sleep all night. Oh, it's warm. And usually my knee would be up against the side of the hammock, chilling my knee, but now it's on this here. And that's a bit that always chills me as a side sleeper in a hammock. So before I put it in the actual bivvy bag and get it on the ground, I want to put that green hammock up and see if I have similar success. It's quite a lean on that. That wasn't here last week, that lean. But I'm not here for the night. I'm only filming here for a couple of hours. Some of that texture coating here, it is exceedingly grippy. This is the UK Hammocks hammock, tropical with bug net, and the material, by the way, is 1.1, and so it's super light. Like I said, the guy has either gone out of business or quit the business. He makes these. I had a night out, like I said, just with the X-Ped inflatable, and I had a pretty miserable time. So this is why I want these wings, so it encapsulates more insulation. I can't guarantee I'm always going to have flat ground for a bivvy or a tent. I can't guarantee I'm always going to have trees either. This should do both. The 15 degrees below is where it bottoms out, remember, not where you're going to be comfortable at. So if you see a sleeping bag or a pad or anything like that, and it's got an R value of like this, 4.4, and it says it's going to be good for -10, -15, that's not a warm amount of comfort. That is when it is finished doing its job and it will not insulate you anymore and you will start getting cold. You need a comfort level. So I add 10 degrees onto my systems, so I've got a 0 degree freeze point system really here. So now I've put it in a bivvy bag. The bivvy I'm using is the extended version. Let's get this in. Have I got 4.4? I don't know. I probably would if I put a reflector under this part here. Right, the siren's going, so I haven't got too much longer. Don't know if you can hear that. So it's going to take a bit of practice getting in and out of the sleeping bag with the pad on the inside of the bivvy. I don't really want the pad on the outside of the bivvy because this bivvy will offer a lot of protection against some of the sharps on the ground. My toes are absolutely toasty warm. Even in a tent, if you add a bivvy bag with your sleeping bag, you have a noticeably warmer, more comfortable night. So I've tried it in my regular setup, which is my camping hammock. I've also tried it in that green hammock. That never really worked, either with a pad or an underquilt, until now. Now I've got this here, that worked. On the ground like this, it's tight and it's a bit of a struggle. Obviously it's going to depend on what sleeping bag you have. I did use a reflector under my X-Ped mat on one of the campouts, and it was damp, some sort of, I reckon it condensated or it attracted my body heat somehow, somewhere, but I don't know how it managed to wick upwards. But I really don't know whether it was the mylar underneath the air pad on that occasion that wicked some moisture. I really don't know. Theoretically it shouldn't. got a second siren, so I'm really gonna have to start wrapping it up here. And maybe find somewhere for a cup of tea, I reckon. I've got the Dutch bivvy, which is wider and longer and has a hoop raised over it. Perhaps that bivvy and this pad would be a better mix than even the British Army large. That's worth a consideration also. Whew. Well, that was a big one. The blasting at the quarry is what that was. That was a ground shaker. It's probably why these trees aren't at the best. So I'm going to start putting it back in its stuff sack. But I have read a forum where a guy had left his inside the snake skin. If I have room in my snake skin, which I think I have, that would leave the tarp, the hammock and the bottom insulation into one snake skin. Siren going again, got another blast coming up. Okay, I haven't packed it as neat as I can, but as you can see, the stuff sack is adequate even to accommodate such a rough first attempt at putting it in. So I put the wings in, folded it in half and in half again, making its quarters, and I'm just going to get this a little tighter. It's not overly important to me, this bit, because I think I'm not going to keep this stuff sack. Again, I'll have plans maybe to put it in something different. Just because something comes with a stuff sack doesn't mean you have to keep it in. It's not a law. Some people religiously keep the same stuff sack for the same equipment regardless. That's not great either, but it's a lot more compact. I'm going to get used to rolling it before I decide a bigger stuff sack. Look how much room there is in that stuff sack. I can even get fingers in here also. I love an oversized stuff sack. Oh, that's a lot better. That was easy to get in. First time I put my Xped LW9 away, that was a tight fit. Unless you got that first roll bang on, it wouldn't go in. But even a rough roll, and it went in. I deflated the wings first by squashing the wings and getting the air out of them, folding them in, and then folded it in half and in half again to make it quarters. So that's what I did, was squeezed the air by hand out of the side wings. So a top quilt can be used as well as a sleeping bag. So I'm going to prefer a much bigger bivvy and a smaller sleeping bag or a smaller top quilt. I think top quilt. In the next few weeks is a system with the unified Hammock 2.0. It's all in one kind of sleeping bag, and that little mini series along with my unified system is coming up in the next few weeks. Absolutely typical. Raining just as I put the tarp away. Absolutely typical. But yesterday was 2.2 degrees. It was cold. Birthday today, December the 6th, and I've got good temperatures. Obviously massive street party tonight. Close the roads off, put the tables out in the road. Everyone on the street will obviously make sandwiches, cakes, trifles, things like that. Fireworks display starts, I think, 7:30 tonight in the big field. I've got marquees on the grassed areas for my present giving ceremony, and then I think 9:30 I've got Robbie Williams coming down, he's going to do a couple of songs. I know, it's all I could get short notice, but it was cheap, 50 quid, so it's all I could afford. Okay, gonna have to be a little more gauche while we're talking about money, and I don't like talking about money when it was a present that's been bought for you, and the present was bought for me from my missus. So thank you, Mrs. Bex, for getting me the hammock inflatable, which is called the Klymit Static V Hammock insulated pad. And I've seen these around for 170, 180 quid last year. And I know I'd have got stung on the import charge as well, because it would have had to have come from America. I'm forever getting stung, the import, and I hate it. I had to find a way around that. I looked on Mass Drop, I think they just call it Drop now, and the theory behind that is one seller will bulk buy from America and bring a whole shipment of stuff over and store it in Europe for European buyers, and he takes the hit on the tax, and the guys and gals who are buying the kit don't take that hit. There's a similar thing called Ad Nature, and they mass buy a lot of kit and stow it in Germany, so that this pad was from Germany, so I didn't get the import sting, which would have been somewhere around the 70 quid mark. It's a lot of money. That's just on import, not the postage. So for £135, including the postage, I got it off a Mass Drop site. Now, it's not Mass Drop itself, like I said, this one is called Ad Nature, who can buy in bulk, stow it in Germany, free postage, got it to the UK within a week for 135 quid, as where the USA seller I was looking at would have been 170 quid, and then the import tax sting on the end of that. There's only two things more guaranteed, and that's death and customs taxes. So I don't really like paying that much tax and import and everything, and like the saying goes, pelicans and taxmen have one thing in common: they can all shove the bills up their arse.